Kai stood at the edge of the playground, watching the empty swings sway in the light breeze. He pulled his jacket tighter around his shoulders, even though the sun was warm. The laughter and shouts of children playing echoed around him, but he felt only quiet. It had been 3 months since his best friend Myra moved to the distant city of Valen. Every morning, he woke up hoping she would walk through the door and call his name. Every evening, he went to her favorite bench in the park, waiting for the sound of her footsteps. But the bench stayed empty, and the park stayed quiet without her smile. He closed his eyes and pictured Myra's bright laugh and the way she tucked her dark hair behind her ear when she was nervous. They had grown up side by side in this small town, building forts in the woods and sharing dreams of exploring strange new worlds. When she told him her family would be moving for her mother's new job, he had tried to hide his sadness. He had hugged her and said, "You'll send me letters, right?" She had nodded, tears in her eyes, and promised she would write every week, but letters had come only twice. The first letter was scribbled on pink stationery with a small drawing of a sunflower on the corner. Myra wrote about her new school, how the teachers were kind, and how she had already made one friend. Kai had read the letter so many times he had memorized every word. He kept it in his jacket pocket and took it out sometimes to read when he felt alone. The second letter arrived a month later. It was shorter. Myra said she was busy and would write again soon. Kai had waited and waited, but no more letters came during dinner. Kai's parents noticed he pushed his food around his plate and picked at his vegetables. His mother asked, "Is everything all right, dear?" He had simply said he was fine. He did not want to admit his heart felt hollow. He did not want to confess he missed Myra so deeply he could taste the emptiness. After dinner, he went to his room, turned off the light, and stared at the ceiling until sleep came. One afternoon, Kai decided to visit the post office in case a letter had arrived late. He stood by the bulletin board where announcements were pinned. He imagined finding Myra's handwriting among the notices. Instead, the board held flyers for local sales and a notice about a lost cat. He walked to the counter. The clerk smiled and handed him an envelope without a stamp. "No mail for you today," she said kindly. He thanked her and left without a word. Walking home, Kai felt the weight of silence around him. He missed the sound of Myra's voice, the way she told jokes in a low whisper so only he could hear. He missed the taste of her favorite mint cookies she baked every Sunday. He missed the bright colors she chose when painting with him under the old oak tree. Each memory felt like a small treasure chest, but he did not know how to open them again. He wanted to hear her voice, see her smile, and feel her presence beside him. That night, Kai sat at his desk and opened his laptop. He had never been good at technology, but he remembered Myra's advice. Learn new things even if they scare you. His heart pounded as he searched for video calls. He found a program called FaceLink and stared at the download button. He hesitated. What if Myra didn't want to talk? What if she had moved on? His hands trembled over the keyboard. He took a deep breath and clicked Install. As the program loaded, Kai typed a message in the search box. Myra S. He held his breath. The screen flickered and a list of names appeared. He recognized her full name. He clicked it. A small window popped up. Myra is online. His chest tightened. He stared at the blank screen, unsure what to say. Then he remembered her bright laugh. He typed, "Hi, Myra, it's Kai." He hit enter. Seconds passed like hours. The screen remained blank. Then his heart leaped as the camera light came on and Myra's face filled the window. She blinked at him, her eyes wide with surprise. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Myra smiled, that warm, wide smile Kai had missed so much. His chest lifted with hope. He realized that although miles separated them, technology could bridge the distance. And maybe, just maybe, their friendship could grow stronger than ever. After their first video call, Kai felt a small spark of joy in his chest. He sat back from his desk, staring at Myra's bright face on the screen. She waved hesitantly, her dark hair falling over one eye. Kai hesitated, then reached out as if he could touch her through the glass. "I'm glad you called me," Myra said softly. Her voice was the same, but now it carried warmth that chased away some of Kai's sadness. "I missed you," Kai admitted. "I didn't know how to talk, so I waited too long." Myra's smile grew gentle. "I was busy at first. Everything was new here. But I wanted to hear your voice." Kai leaned forward. He told her about the empty swings, the lonely bench, and how he had tried to wait for her. Myra listened with shining eyes. When he finished, she said, "I'm sorry I stopped writing. I got caught up in school and new friends, but I'm here now." Relief washed over Kai. He felt tears in his eyes, but he blinked them back. He remembered his father's words, "True strength is in reaching out when you feel weak." He straightened his shoulders. "Then let's plan something," he said. "Can we talk more often?" "Maybe every weekend?" Myra nodded. "Yes, I would like that." They set a time for a regular call. Kai promised to share news from home. Myra promised to show him her new city through video. They both laughed at the idea of a virtual tour. That afternoon, Kai closed the call and felt lighter than he had in weeks. He stared at the screensaver Myra's sunflower drawing and realized hope did not fade when people moved away. It grew when they chose to keep the bond alive. Over the next few days, Kai worked on new ways to connect. He remembered Myra's favorite mint cookies. He mixed flour and sugar, cracked eggs, and stirred in mint oil. The kitchen filled with warm scents. He carefully placed the baked cookies in a tin and wrote a short note for late-night study breaks. He went to the post office again, this time with a sturdy box. The clerk stamped the package and sent it off to Valen. Kai watched the box leave his hands. But inside he felt a growing confidence. He had taken action. He had reached across the distance. That weekend, as promised, Kai logged in for their second video call. Myra appeared, grinning. She held up one of his cookies. "These are amazing," she exclaimed. Kai's heart soared. They spent hours talking. Kai showed her the old oak tree where they painted. He held his camera to the window so Myra could see the oak's sturdy trunk and green leaves. Myra showed Kai a rooftop garden in Valen, tiny flowers blooming under a glass dome. They discovered new joys in sharing small details. When Kai felt lonely, he remembered that Myra was just a call away. When Myra felt homesick, Kai's cookies and stories comforted her. Their friendship grew stronger than before. One afternoon, Kai's mother asked, "You seem happier lately?" "What changed?" Kai smiled. "I found a new way to feel close to Myra," he said. "Even far away, she is still my friend." His mother nodded and gave him a warm hug. Kai realized that human kindness, simple, constant care could bridge any distance. At night, Kai looked out his window at the quiet street. He closed his eyes and listened for the breeze, imagining it carried Myra's laughter. He felt proud of himself for reaching out, for learning new skills, and for sending his heart across the miles. Hope was no longer a distant star, but a light he held in his own hands. And as Kai drifted to sleep, he dreamed of the day Myra might return, knowing then they would stand again on the old bench, no longer apart, but side by side. Kai woke up before dawn, sunlight still pale on the horizon. He carried his tablet to the window, hoping to catch Myra online for one of their weekend calls, but the screen showed offline. He sighed, feeling a familiar ache in his chest. Distance still stretched between them. Even with technology bridging the gap, after breakfast, Kai decided to try something new. He remembered Myra's love for music. She once said a simple song could make her heart feel lighter. He opened an app and searched for melody generators. His fingers hovered over the keyboard. He had never created music before. His palms sweated, but he thought of Myra's cerulean eyes and her gentle laughter. He typed a few notes, tentatively pressed play, and a soft tune drifted through the tablet's speaker. He smiled at the tune's quirkiness. It sounded more like a baby robot learning to sing than a polished song, but to Kai it felt like hope. He recorded a short video of himself playing the tune and speaking to the camera. "I made this for you," he said, voice shaky but honest. "Maybe it sounds funny, but it reminded me of us learning new things together." He added a message. "Send me your thoughts when you can." He tapped send and felt a boost of courage. He had reached out in a new way through something he'd built himself. The rest of the day he went about his chores, but his mind kept drifting to Myra and whether she would like his song that evening. The tablet buzzed with a new message, a video from Myra. Kai's heart raced as he tapped it. Myra sat in her room, walls painted in soft blue, holding her own instrument, a small wind flute she had brought from home. She looked shy but excited. She played a gentle melody that complemented Kai's tune. Then she laughed softly, saying, "Your song made me smile. One added my line for us." Kai felt warmth flood his chest. He watched her play her melody again, and again memorizing each note. At the end of the video, Myra spoke directly to him. "Thank you for sharing your music. Even far away, I feel closer to you." Kai reached for his tablet case as if to hug it. He whispered to himself, "Humans can build bridges with simple acts of kindness." He realized that his desire to connect had led him to create something new, and that creation had brought them closer. Over the next few days, Kai and Myra exchanged more musical snippets. Kai improved his melody with lessons he found online. Myra sent recordings of her city's street musicians, and Kai listened in awe at rhythms he had never heard. Through each exchange, they learned about each other's worlds. Meanwhile, Kai's school announced a talent show. He signed up, his heart pounding as he registered. He chose to perform the duet he and Myra had woven together. His teacher raised an eyebrow. "You're playing your friend's melody too? That's bold." Kai nodded. "It's our way of staying close." The night of the show, Kai stood backstage with his guitar. He looked at the stage lights, then at a small photo taped to his music stand, a snapshot of him and Myra laughing under the oak tree. He took a deep breath and walked onto the stage. When the spotlight warmed his face, he introduced the piece. "This is a song I made with my friend Myra, who lives far away. Music helped us stay close, and I want to share that hope with you." He strummed the first chord and began to sing the melody softly. As his clear voice filled the hall, he imagined Myra listening from Valen. Midway, his tablet beside him lit up with a live video of Myra. She held up her flute and played her counter melody in perfect time. Kai's eyes widened. Together their music intertwined, his guitar and voice, her flute in the wireless stream. The audience watched in surprised delight. When the final note faded, the hall erupted in applause. Kai's cheeks burned with pride and relief. He bowed, smiling at the tablet as though it were Myra standing there. He had felt distant and unsure, but his HFY spirit, human ingenuity, courage, and kindness had built a bridge stronger than miles. Later, Kai packed up his guitar. His mother hugged him tight and whispered, "I've never heard anything so." "Beautiful," Kai nodded, heart full. He opened the tablet and saw Myra's smiling face. "We did it," he said quietly. Myra laughed. "Yes, we did." And in that moment, neither sadness nor distance could touch them. Their song carried the promise of reconnection, hope, and the human spirit shining bright across any distance. A week later, Kai woke to a gentle rain tapping on his window. He pulled on his raincoat and grabbed the package he had prepared the night before. Inside the neat box was a small model of the old oak tree, carved from clay and painted with green leaves and brown bark. He had molded it himself, using his hands and heart. Next to it was a simple note: "For the moments when you miss home, hold this reminder." At the post office, the clerk raised an eyebrow. "Another gift?" she asked. Kai smiled shyly. "Yes, this time I hope she can feel it in her hands." He stamped and sent the package to Valen, imagining Myra unwrapping it in her new room. That afternoon, Kai sat in his school library, staring at the oak model until the edges blurred. He missed the strength of the real tree and the way its roots held the earth firm. He thought of Myra's laughter under its branches and ached for her company. He closed his eyes and pictured her smiling, small model in her hands. The image gave him hope. When the sky turned gold at sunset, Kai logged on for their weekly call. Myra's face filled the screen, her hair damp from summer rain. She held a small clay model of a rooftop garden, tiny flowers painted in bright colors. Kai's heart swelled. "I love it," she said, voice gentle. "It feels like a piece of home." Kai felt warmth spread through him. "I wanted you to have something that reminds you of our world." Myra turned the clay oak slowly in her fingers. I will put it by my window so I can see our bench beside it in my mind." Their call drifted into evening as they shared simple stories. Kai spoke of the new flowering shrubs at the park. Myra described her first weather in Valancourt breezes that smelled of sea salt. They laughed at small jokes and paused at quiet moments, each in their own room but together in spirit. After the call ended, Kai felt lighter. He carried on with his homework, but his thoughts kept returning to Myra's gentle eyes. He realized that though they were apart, each act of reaching out built a bridge between them. True HFY was not just human strength in machines or battles. It was the courage to share one's heart. On Saturday morning, Kai visited the community center where volunteers gathered to knit hats for refugees from a nearby conflict. He had never volunteered before, but he remembered Myra's kind words. "Helping others makes your heart bigger." He signed up to knit, fumbling with the yarn and needles. His first hat looked lopsided and too small for anyone's head. But the volunteers cheered his effort and Kai grinned. That afternoon, Kai visited Myra online. She was surprised to see his lopsided hat hanging beside her clay model. "You made this?" she asked, laughing softly. Kai shrugged. "It's my first attempt. I wanted to help others and learn something new." Myra touched the screen. "Your kindness travels faster than any letter." Kai felt proud. He had stepped outside his comfort zone, and the world had opened wider for him. He realized that reconnecting with Myra had given him the confidence to reach out to others and build stronger ties in his own community. Later that day, Kai climbed the hill beyond town where he and Myra used to watch sunsets. He sat on a flat rock, wind tugging at his hair. He closed his eyes and whispered to the sky, "Myra, I hope you can see this too." In his mind, he pictured her on her own hill near Valen, whispering back. Under the soft glow of the rising moon, Kai opened his tablet once more. He found a new app that allowed him to draw and paint together in real time with friends. With trembling fingers, he sent Myra an invitation. "Let's draw our world tonight." When she accepted, the tablet screen split into two. Kai sketched the oak tree, then added the lopsided hat and a small figure under its branches. On the other side, Myra painted the clay rooftops and flowers she loved. They added colors, laughed at their mistakes, and created a shared picture of two homes connected by a single tree dot as their images merged on the screen. Kai felt a surge of hope. The distance between them was measured in miles, but their hearts beat to the same rhythm. He realized that reconnection did not always need words. Sometimes a clay model, a knitted hat, or a shared painting could speak louder. That night, Kai shut off his tablet and climbed into bed, the rain softly pattering against the roof. He smiled, knowing that he and Myra had built another bridge of kindness and creativity. And though the miles still lay between them, their friendship shone brighter than ever, a testament to the HFY spirit of hope, action, and connection. The next morning, Kai woke to a clear sky and a bright idea. He remembered how Myra loved storybooks with colorful illustrations. He decided to write a short story about their friendship, with drawings on each page. Kai had never written a full story before, but he felt a new strength in his heart. He gathered paper, pens, and watercolors and set to work at his desk. He started by drawing two children under an oak tree, one with dark hair and one with light hair holding hands. The words at the top read, "Once upon a time, two friends lived under a great tree." Kai smiled at the simple sentence. It felt like the start of something magical. He painted the leaves in bright green and the sky in gentle blue, careful to make the colors soft and warm. On the next page, Kai drew a suitcase leaving the old town and the two children waving goodbye. He wrote, "One friend moved far away, but their hearts stayed close." He added small details, a tiny flower drifting on the wind and a small tear on the face of the friend left behind. Even though the drawing looked rough, Kai felt pride in each brushstroke. This was his gift to Myra, proof that he was willing to learn and create. Over the weekend, Kai finished the storybook. It had 10 pages in all, each with a simple drawing and a sentence about hope, courage, and kindness. He carefully placed the pages in a clear folder and wrote on the cover, "For Myra, with hope." He sealed it in a padded envelope and addressed it to her city. At the post office, the clerk asked, "Is this a gift?" Kai nodded. "Yes, it is for my heart." After sending the book, Kai felt a new sense of calm. He had acted again, this time with words and art, and that action filled him with hope. He thought of all the times he had felt helpless and sad, and he realized that small acts of creativity could heal a distant heart. That evening, Kai logged on for their weekly call. Myra appeared on screen, excitement glowing in her eyes. She held a package wrapped in bright paper. Kai's chest tightened with anticipation. Myra carefully unwrapped the gift and pulled out the storybook. She opened it and gasped. The drawings and words were simple, yet they moved her deeply. "Oh, Kai," she said softly, "this is the most beautiful gift I have ever received." She turned the pages slowly, reading each sentence aloud. Kai listened, heart pounding with pride and relief. When she reached the last page, where the two friends under the oak tree rejoined and smiled, Myra's eyes shone with tears of joy. "I will keep this by my bed," she said. "Every night I will read our story and remember that distance cannot break our bond." Kai felt warmth fill his chest. His HFY spirit, determination, creativity, and kindness had once more built a bridge between them. After the call, Kai sat quietly, staring at the blank pages of his tablet. He realized he did not need to wait for Myra to speak first. He could share his stories and ask her to share hers. He opened a new document and began typing. "Dear Myra, tonight I dreamed of our next adventure. Would you write the next chapter?" He added a space for her words, saved the file, and clicked share. The next morning, Kai found a reply in his inbox. Myra had written a line. "In my dream, we sailed on a sea of stars, guided by the light of our oak tree." Next to her words was a small sketch of a boat with glowing sails. Kai's face lit up with a grin. He printed their letters side by side and taped them to his wall above his desk. From that day on, their storybook grew into a shared journal. Kai wrote a page and sent it. Myra replied with her own. With each new entry a drawing of moonlit hills, a sentence about two friends exploring alien forests. They wove their lives together across every mile. Kai understood. Now that feeling distant did not mean being alone. Human hearts could bridge any space when they chose to act with hope and creativity. And as he added the next page to their journal, Kai felt certain that one day soon Myra would return, and they would read their full story together under the real oak tree, side by side once more. One Monday morning, Kai sat at his desk and stared at the growing stack of journal pages and drawings between him and Myra. He loved their shared story, but he also missed the warmth of a shared moment with more people. He thought of his classmates, his art teacher, and the kindness he had found in his community. If one friend could cross a distance, perhaps many friends could. Kai decided to create an online gallery of art and letters for Myra. He emailed his art teacher, Miss Lin, with a simple plan. "Let's share our work with Myra and Valen." To his surprise, she replied quickly, offering her classroom website as a gallery space. Kai felt a spark of hope. He posted an announcement in class. "We will send our art and messages to Myra. She will add her own and share back." His classmates looked curious, then excited over the next week. Kai and his classmates brought paintings, sketches, and brief notes to school. There was a bright watercolor of the old oak tree, a charcoal sketch of Kai playing guitar, and even a clay model of the town library. Each student added a short letter. "I hope you like our world. We miss you here. Your friend Kai says hello." When all the art was gathered, Kai carefully photographed each piece and uploaded the images to the gallery site. On the day of the gallery opening, Kai logged into the website with his heart pounding. He saw thumbnails of every contribution lined up like a colorful mosaic. He clicked on Myra's folder. There was her clay model of the oak tree, her sketch of the rooftop garden, and a new watercolor of a lighthouse she had visited in her city. Under each image, she had typed short messages. "Thank you for this. This makes me smile. I feel part of your world." Kai read every message slowly, his heart lifting. Then he noticed a new folder labeled Myra's Friends. Curious, he clicked it and saw art sent by her classmates in Velena pastel painting of Kai's face under the oak tree, a pen and ink drawing of the model tree beside her rooftop, and notes in neat handwriting, "Your art brightens our school. We hope to meet you someday. Myra speaks of you always." He felt a warm rush. Humans reached across miles with paintbrushes, pencils, clay, and words. He realized that his small idea had grown into a living bridge between two worlds. He picked up his tablet and recorded a short video message. "Thank you, everyone. This makes me feel closer to Myra and to you. I hope one day we can all meet." He uploaded the video too. That evening, Kai logged on for a live chat arranged as part of the gallery's opening day. Students from both schools logged in, shy at first, but excited. They greeted each other through the screen, asking simple questions. "What is your favorite color? Which season do you like?" Kai introduced Myra's contributions and then passed the microphone to Myra. She smiled shyly and said, "Seeing your art, I feel at home." One by one, classmates spoke. A girl in Valen said, "I want to visit your oak tree." A boy in Kai's class said, "I want to see your lighthouse." They laughed together. The shared laughter filled the virtual room like the sound of bells. Kai felt tears of joy after the chat ended. Kai closed his eyes and breathed deeply. He had felt lonely and lost, not knowing how to reconnect. But now he saw how simple acts, asking for help, sharing art, opening a website, could bring many hearts together. He understood that the HFY spirit was more than fixing machines or sending cookies. It was the courage to create together, to invite others in, and to build hope from many hands. That night, Kai lay in bed and imagined a future gathering too. Classes under the oak tree and beside the rooftop garden, sharing cookies, music, and stories in the same place. He felt certain that distance was no barrier for people who chose to connect. As he drifted to sleep, he dreamed of the day they would all stand side by side, painting new pictures under a shared sky. Months passed, and the online gallery remained a bright bridge between Kai's town and Myra's city. But both friends felt a new hope stirring in their hearts. What if they could meet again in person? One afternoon, Kai opened his email to find a message from Myra's mother. They were planning a trip to Kai's town during the spring break. Myra would return to the old oak tree. Kai felt a rush of excitement and nerves. He had imagined this moment for so long, but now it was real. He hurried to tell his parents, who smiled proudly and helped him prepare. He made a small welcome sign out of cardstock, painting the words, "Welcome home, Myra," in bright colors. He practiced the melody he and Myra had written, ready to play on his guitar under the tree. When spring break arrived, Kai watched the bus arrive at the town square. Students and volunteers from the gallery project gathered to greet the new visitors, Myra's classmates and family. Kai stood at the edge of the crowd, heart pounding. Then he saw her, dark hair tied back, a clay model of the oak tree in her backpack, and that warm smile he had missed for so long. "Myra!" Kai called, stepping forward. She dropped her bag and ran to him. They met under the old oak tree, where branches swayed in a gentle breeze. Their classmates from both towns formed a circle around them, holding hands and cameras to record the moment. Kai took Myra's hands and smiled. "I missed you every day," he said softly. Myra's eyes glistened. "I missed you too. But our story never ended." He pointed to the welcome sign hanging from the tree. "This is for you." She touched the paper gently, her smile growing. Around them, the two groups of students shared gifts they had brought: clay models, paintings, and handwritten letters. The air was full of laughter and bright chatter. Kai lifted his guitar. "Myra and I wrote a song together. Would you like to hear it?" The circle grew quiet. He strummed the first chord, and Myra raised her clay flute, ready to play her countermelody. Their music rose into the afternoon light, his guitar and voice joined by her flute, weaving a tune of friendship and hope. When the final note faded, the crowd cheered. Myra laughed and hugged Kai. "It sounds even better in person." Kai grinned. "It does." After the music, the students organized a small picnic. Kai's mother brought mint cookies, and Myra's father offered sweet pastries from Valen. They all sat on blankets under the oak tree. Kai handed Myra her favorite mint cookies, and she offered him a pastry dusted with sugar. They ate together, talking about the gallery, the talent show, and all they had learned from each other. As the sun dipped low, Kai led Myra to the small model of the oak tree they had kept in his room. Now the real tree stood grand and tall. He remembered the clay models, the drawings, and the many ways they had stayed close. "This tree witnessed our first goodbye and our biggest reunion," he said. Myra placed her hand on the trunk. "And it will witness more adventures," Kai nodded. "We have so many pages left to write in our story." They both laughed, imagining all they would share next: letters, songs, pictures, and perhaps visits to Valen. Around them, classmates from 2 towns chatted and planned future exchanges. The oak tree's branches seemed to bend in approval. As twilight fell, Kai and Myra sat together under a soft lantern glow. They watched fireflies drift around them. Kai looked at Myra's face and felt a deep pride in human kindness and creativity, the HFY spirit that never gave up hope. He realized that distance had shown them how strong their bond could be. Myra turned to him and whispered, "Thank you for bringing me home." Kai squeezed her hand. "Thank you for coming back." Under the silent stars, 2 friends separated by miles, yet forever connected, promised that no distance could ever break their friendship again. Their story would continue, written in every chord of their song, every brushstroke of their art, and every act of hope they shared. And together they looked forward to all the new chapters still to come.